it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1185, Animal Add-ons 4, and you can check out all of our die designs at KarenBurniston.com. There are 14 dies in the set, but it is an add-ons set, so what that means is there is a foundation die requirement, in this case die number 1131, Bitty Ball pop-up, to make the structure of the animals. In the video today, I'll be making all the animals by stacking 2 bitty balls together. But if you have the slightly larger surprise ball, some people like to use the bitty ball for the head and the surprise ball for the body. You, of course, always have that option. My very favorite cardstock for use with our ball dies is the heavyweight smooth cardstock from the Paper Cut. And we offer that in 6x6 packs, our newest one being Exact Pack 7, that has the greens and purples that you would need for this Animal Add-on set. It also includes black and white to make eyes. I like to be very frugal with my cardstock, so if I put the bitty ball all the way to one corner, I actually have room for a hexagon next to it, and then from the leftovers, I can actually cut trapezoids. I'm actually able to get quite a bit out of one 6x6 sheet this way, including the 2 additional trapezoids that I need for the inside of the ball. Now that is my new favorite assembly. I do have a full video showing how to do it. That is called Surprise and Bitty Ball Assembly Tips, and I will link it at the end of this video. Let's start first with the assembly of the octopus. So today's video is basically a styling video for how to use Animal Add-ons 4. If you are new to our ball dies, I definitely suggest that other video for a nice slow walkthrough of how to get to this point. For the ball on the left, that will be the head of the octopus, just regular ball assembly, add trapezoids and hexagons to all the sides. For the ball on the right, that will be the body of the octopus. Cut the 6 trapezoids for the upper half of the ball, but don't add them to the ball yet. Since I plan to use 2 rubber bands in each ball, I have added the extra trapezoid reinforcing to the inside. So once I get to this level of decoration, I am ready to assemble the balls in the usual manner. During assembly, I did add a brad to the one that's going to be the body of the octopus so that I can have this character spin inside a card. There are 5 dies in the bitty ball base set that can be used to fashion the face and the bow tie of the octopus. So with our add-ons sets, they are definitely just supplemental pieces. So whatever is already in the base foundation die that can be used to fashion that particular character or animal, we make use of that and then we add on additional pieces that are required. So my favorite for the eyes of the octopus are both ovals out of the bitty ball, and then the small circles as catch lights, and then the small smile, and all of those come in the bitty ball set. So the only dies that are needed out of the Animal Add-ons 4 set for the octopus are the tentacles and the tentacle shadows. For the tentacles, there is an optional stencil emboss feature built into the die. So to utilize that, just leave the paper in the die, and then use either ink that you're sponging through the die or a white gel pen to add that dot detailing to the tentacles. And then each of the tentacles is going to glue to a tentacle shadow, and I repeat that until I have 8 of them. The bitty ball on its own is going to collapse down to about a 4 1/4 inch square, but adding tentacles is going to increase the footprint of the flattened ball, which means you need a larger card to hold it. So one way that you can kind of manage that is to flatten the ball, clip it down, and then use a grid like I'm doing to kind of manage the location of the tentacles to keep it into a footprint that you like. If I start with the front and the back of the octopus, I can actually keep it within a 6-inch footprint by just paying attention when I glue on the tentacles, the angle and the height of them to keep them within that distance. And for each panel, once I've added the tentacle or tentacles, then I can add the decorator trapezoid over the top. Then I just need to add 1 tentacle on each of the remaining 4 sides. And once again, I can place them at such an angle that I can control the overall footprint of the flattened octopus. So in this case, 6 inches tall by 7 inches wide. For the final 2, I actually hide a fair bit of the tentacle underneath the trapezoid so they don't stick out as far and they don't have as much option to crash into the other ones. Then I can remove the clip and check out the finished octopus body. There is a bow tie that's optional. It's in the bitty ball set, and I think it looks kind of cute on the front of the octopus, so I'm going to put that on the front of the body. And then the last step is just to glue the head to the body. And what I find is that if I just add adhesive and then get the balls over the top of each other, and then in the collapse position I can make sure that all of the spokes line up perfectly. So in this case, tentacle placement is what's going to control the card size. And if you're willing to bring the back tentacles up a little more, you could probably get down to a 5.5 inch width. That's what Fran used on this card, 5.5 by 8.5. I love her choice to add hearts to the front of the octopus. She also mixed in the small octopus from our Ocean Animals die set. So in all of our animal add-on sets, there's usually a small version of the same animal in one of those other sets. Okay, next up, let's look at the assembly of the frog. For the head of the frog, I added the hexagons and the trapezoids to all the sides. For the body, on the side that has the brad, I left 2 off where the legs will go. And then just normal assembly. For the body, the one that has the 2 open sides, those will be the legs. So this would be the front of the frog. And then on the head, it doesn't really much matter, although I think it looks best if you use a rubber band side as the front. So I just choose my favorite. So now I'm using the leg die out of Animal Add-ons 4, and it does have an optional emboss feature on it. So I'm using the squishy mat and the purple mat that came with my Spellbinders Platinum 6. If you have a different machine, just check YouTube for what is the correct sandwich for embossing a wafer-thin die. And especially with new dies, I like to do the embossing step first, because then it's really easy to just set the die right back into those grooves, change the sandwich back to a cutting sandwich, and run it through again to cut. The die can also be used as a stencil, so I am just sponging some ink down through the die to add color to all of those raised bumps on the legs. And then I also like to just add some green ink to all of the edges. And then I just need to repeat that for the second leg. I also cut 4 frog feet from Animal Add-ons 4, and I'm inking the edges of those as well. There are 3 circle dies in the set, and those layer together nicely for frog eyes. So I've done the biggest out of green, and then the middle circle would be white, and then the smallest circle would be black. And then I like to add a couple catch lights to the black circles using a white gel pen. Starting first with the lower half of the frog, the leg pieces will actually fit perfectly on those panels of the biddy ball to completely cover them and turn them into legs. So I just need to put adhesive everywhere and then line up the base of the leg to match the shape of that trapezoid. Much like with the octopus, you may want to flatten the ball before you add the front legs, because if overall footprint of the flattened frog is important, then you may want to be able to count how big of a card you need. In this case, I can get it in a 5-inch tall card. For the other 2 leg pieces, I like to trim a little bit of the leg off so they're shorter, and then I just glue those up underneath the ball so that they're sticking out from where the legs are attached. Okay, now I'm going to switch over and work on the head. So a little adhesive in the upper corners to attach the eyes. There is a wide smile in the Animal Add-ons 4 set that's perfect for a frog mouth. Then I layered the 2 hearts that come in the biddy ball set for the front of the frog, and then all I have to do is just add the head to the body. And as for flattened footprint, about 5 inches tall by 5.5 inch wide would be your minimum card size for a frog. Here's a cute card by Fran Sabad. She's used our new Crosshatch labels to make a magnetic back flap to keep the card closed. And then when it opens, the cute little pop-up frog holding some hearts. And then on the card is also our new Bayou Animals, which has a little frog and an alligator to match the pop-up animals. Okay, and then the final animal in the Animal Add-ons 4 set is the alligator/crocodile. Okay, for this one, no panels need to be left off in the decorating. Just put decorator trapezoids in hexagons on all the panels. And once again, just assemble in the usual manner. So with the alligator, I like to go ahead and attach the head to the body first before decorating, just making sure that I'm lining up the rubber band sides, because those make really nice front sections of the balls. The alligator snout has an optional emboss feature, so I've run that through my machine with an embossing sandwich and then die cut it. And now I'm going to use it as a stencil to add some detailing to the snout. And I'm going for green detail lines and black nostrils. The die that cuts the teeth also scores a little tab out at the end, so I'm going to fold that under. And then to shape and curl the teeth, I'm just going to press against them into a piece of fun foam with my bone folder, and then that will curl them downwards. Okay, so now the tooth piece can be glued behind the snout, but I'm only using adhesive out on the end of the snout, and then the rounded end of the tooth piece goes into that adhesive, and I just make sure that that is centered. So the other end where the tab is, those layers can still separate. Okay, so basically the ball is going to slide between those two layers. So what I need is an adhesive on the little white fold down tab and then adhesive on the back of the green as well. And then with the ball animal, try to flatten just the head instead of flattening both the head and the body. If you do just the head, then it's pretty easy to slide one section of the ball in between those two layers. And I'll focus first on the white tab, getting that adhered to the lower trapezoid so that the fold of the white tab is just right along the edge. And then I can bring the green part up and over and attach it to the upper trapezoid. So let's take a look at that from a side view, and then you can see how that's attached. And there are tiny little score lines next to that first curved detail lines on the green piece just to help that kind of curl up in that location. For eyes of the alligator, I use the medium circle out of white and then the small circles out of black with a little white gel pen catch light. And I'm using the bow tie again that comes in the bitty ball pop-up. For alligator claws, I like to use the stencil feature on the die and trace around it with a black pen and then fill in the center with an orange pen. And then what I like to do is curl all the little toes by using that same kind of trick with the bone folder and the fun foam. And then I repeat that process another time, and then I have the arms for the alligator, so I just glue those onto the ball at whatever angle and location I think looks great. To style those same pieces as feet, I like to add the medium circle over the top, just to give it more of a rounded foot kind of look. And then it's pretty tall, and I don't really want it to get into the brad that's underneath my piece, so I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then I'm just going to glue that up underneath the alligator like I would any other animal, just put the glue underneath and just put it at whatever angle that I think looks pleasing. Okay, the last piece to go on is the tail, and you do have choices as to where you put it. Right now you've got a 6-inch total height and about 4 1/4 on the width. So depending on how far out you put the tail is of course going to add to the width of the piece. I like to just set it in there on the right, or you could do similarly on the left. And then as I flatten it, I can kind of rotate it a little bit to keep it within a grid if I'm trying to, for instance, keep my card to a 5x6. And you can definitely explore other areas to put the tail. That is really completely just designer's choice. Here's a cute card by Frances Byrne. She's used the Bayou animals on the front and then the pop-up alligator on the inside. So that is the assembly of Animal Add-ons 4 to go with the bitty ball pop-up. So let's look at a few more cards by our design team. Lois shows here how you can create just a little character on a stand that you just flatten and mail, so it doesn't necessarily have to go inside a card. Now she does also explain that this is not her preferred team, but she wanted to show the idea. Another card by Fran, this time using the frogs on the front of a Merry Christmas card and then the pop-up frog inside, and she's fashioned a little Christmas sweater for the frog and gave him the Santa hat from Character Add-ons 2. And then finally this super sweet card by Kelly Booth. The gator has a floral crown and is holding a slice of birthday cake. Check your favorite local or online retailer for availability. You can also order Animal Add-ons 4 from our website, KarenBurniston.com, starting November 22nd, 2021. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can find out information about purchasing these dies, as well as links to all my other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.